Welcome to Unit 6, Module 2. My name is Cyprian Stroh, and I am pleased to guide you through our exploration of tubers and root crops with a focus on potatoes, sugar beets, and chicory. These crops are far more than just everyday foods. They play a vital role in today's world, where agriculture is facing global challenges such as climate change, population growth, and the need for sustainable energy. Tubers and root crops are important for three main reasons. First, they are essential for food security and nutrition. Second, they supply raw materials for industries ranging from food processing to bioenergy. And third, they hold a strategic role in agriculture because of their adaptability and high productivity. In this unit, we will explore how these crops contribute biologically, economically, and technologically to both local and global systems. Together, they represent a bridge between tradition and innovation in agriculture. Today, I invite you to take a closer look at a category of crops that often goes unnoticed, yet plays an essential role in global agriculture and industry: tubers and root crops. These plants, including potatoes, sugar beet, and chicory, are far more than everyday foods. They are strategic resources that support food security, economic development, and technological innovation. Tubers and root crops have a remarkable ability to thrive in diverse climates and soil conditions, making them reliable in a world facing increasing environmental challenges. Their resilience, high productivity, and nutritional value position them among the most important crops for sustainable agriculture. Beyond their role in food systems, these crops also drive industrial innovation. From biofuels and biodegradable materials to pharmaceuticals and functional ingredients, the potential of tubers and roots continues to expand. In many developing regions, these crops offer opportunities for local industries, job creation, and value chain development. As we explore their biological, agronomic, and economic significance, we will see why tubers and root crops truly stand as pillars of sustainability and engines of global innovation. Let us take a moment to look at the significant role that tubers and root crops play in today's agricultural and industrial landscape. Although they may seem like simple everyday crops, their impact extends far beyond basic food production. First, these crops hold a strategic position in agriculture. They support the shift towards sustainable farming practices and contribute to stronger food and energy security. In a world facing rapid economic and climatic changes, tubers and root crops offer stability and adaptability, making them essential resources for future resilience. Secondly, their industrial and resource contribution is substantial. Potatoes, sugar beets, and chicory are not only important for food industries, they also feed into diverse sectors such as biotechnology, processing technologies, and renewable resource production. Their efficient use makes them key drivers in the sustainable management of plant based materials. On a global scale, their relevance continues to expand as countries confront challenges ranging from climate stress to economic pressures. Tubers and root crops are increasingly recognized as critical elements within modern agro-industrial systems. They support regional development, diversify production chains, and strengthen agricultural economies worldwide. Let's now look at the global picture. The potato is the fourth most important food crop in the world after rice, wheat, and maize. More than 360 million tons are harvested annually, making it a truly global crop grown across all continents. Sugar beet contributes around 20% of the world's sugar supply. While sugarcane dominates in tropical regions, sugar beet is the main source of sugar in temperate climates, especially in Europe and North America. Chicory is less widely cultivated, but it has unique roles. It is used as a coffee substitute. It is a rich source of inulin, an important dietary fiber. and it is increasingly valued for its contribution to functional and nutritional foods. Together, these three crops highlight the versatility and technological potential of tubers and roots. They are not only food sources but also essential resources for modern industry and health. In Europe, agricultural policies actively support the cultivation of tubers and root crops. These plants are seen as essential for stabilizing supply chains and maintaining the competitiveness of European farming. Potatoes are grown intensively in Germany, Poland, the Netherlands, and France, where yields often reach 40 to 50 tons per hectare under advanced cultivation systems. Sugar beet has a long tradition in countries like France, Germany, the Czech Republic, Austria, and Romania, and with favorable soils and technology, yields frequently exceed 60 tons per hectare. Chicory is cultivated mainly in Belgium, France, and the Netherlands, where there is strong industry infrastructure for extracting inulin, a product with growing demand in nutrition and pharmaceuticals. This regional specialization shows how Europe has built not just strong food production systems, but also industrial value chains based on these crops. From a biological perspective, these plants are fascinating because of how they store energy underground. Potatoes accumulate carbohydrates in tubers, while sugar beet and chicory develop hypertrophied roots rich in sugars or inulin. The process of translocating assimilates from the leaves to the storage organs depends both on the plant stage of development and on environmental conditions. This means that irrigation, fertilization, and the use of biostimulants need to be carefully managed to optimize productivity. Farmers who understand these biological processes can improve yields and quality. For instance, controlling water supply during tuber or root formation or balancing nitrogen and potassium in fertilization can make the difference between average production and outstanding harvests. So, behind every ton of potatoes, beets, or chicory, there is a delicate biological mechanism that must be supported with precision agriculture. When we talk about productivity in tuber and root crops, we need to look closely at how the harvest is formed. The main elements are plant density, the ability of each plant to form tubers or roots, the average mass of those organs, and their dry matter content, whether starch in potatoes, sugars in beets, or inulin in chicory. The process starts with germination and leaf development. A strong and healthy leaf canopy is crucial because it drives photosynthesis, which provides the assimilates that are later stored underground. The key moments are tuberization in potatoes and sugar accumulation in sugar beets. These are critical phases when precise management of water and nutrients can determine the success of the crop. In short, productivity is not just a result of planting seeds or tubers, it's the outcome of managing biological processes step by step, from early leaf development to the final accumulation of starch, sugar, or inulin. The potato, scientifically named Solanum tuberosum L, belongs to the Solanaceae family. There are two main groups, Andigena, which are short-day varieties, and tuberosa, which are long-day varieties, and the latter are mainly cultivated in Europe. Varieties are also classified by their vegetation period, early, semi-early, semi-late, and late, and by their culinary quality grouped into classes A through D. Class A varieties, for example, are firm and good for salads, while Class D varieties are very floury and mainly used for starch production. Romania has contributed its own valuable varieties such as Christian, an early yellow variety, Roclas, known for taste and drought resistance, and redsec with its attractive red skin and yellow flesh. These, alongside international varieties like Desiree or Agria, ensure that potatoes can meet both household needs and industrial demands. Potatoes are not only a staple food, but also a remarkable nutritional package. On average, their tubers contain about 25% dry matter, most of which is starch. A large share of that starch is amylopectin, which gives potatoes their soft, creamy texture when boiled and is also useful in industrial applications such as glue production. Beyond starch, potatoes provide about 2% protein, with a good balance of essential amino acids, making them one of the most nutritious vegetable proteins. They are also rich in vitamins, especially vitamin C and B group vitamins, and they contain minerals such as potassium, phosphorus, calcium, sodium, and iron. However, we should note that potatoes also contain solanine, a toxic alkaloid, especially in tubers that have been exposed to light or have sprouted. This is why green or sprouted potatoes should never be consumed. Interestingly, the apical part of the tuber is richer in starch and proteins, which partly explains differences in taste and texture when cooking. Potatoes are sensitive plants with specific requirements for climate and soil. For emergence, they need soil temperatures around 12 to 15 degrees Celsius, and for tuber formation, the optimal range is 16 to 18 degrees. Frosts below minus half a degree can severely damage the crop, while very high temperatures above 25 degrees reduce tuber formation. Moisture is equally important, especially during tuberization, when water deficits can reduce both yield and quality. Photoperiod also plays a role. Short days of about 10 to 12 hours encourage tuberization, while long days favor stem growth. In terms of soils, potatoes thrive in aerated, fertile, sandy loamy soils with a pH between 4.5 and 7.5. Compacted or poorly drained soils hinder tuber growth, leading to deformed or low quality harvests. This is why farmers must carefully prepare their soils to ensure good aeration and drainage before planting. Overall, the potato is a demanding but highly rewarding crop when its climate and soil needs are respected. To achieve good yields, potato cultivation follows a precise technology. A key principle is crop rotation. Potatoes should return to the same land only after 4 years, and never after other solanaceae crops such as tomatoes or peppers, to reduce the risk of diseases and pests. Soil preparation involves deep plowing around 28 to 30 centimeters to create a loose and well aerated structure. Planting is done with healthy tubers, usually weighing 40 to 70 grams, often pre sprouted to ensure rapid and uniform emergence. The density can vary between 45,000 and 70,000 plants per hectare, depending on variety and purpose. After planting, care works focus on weed control and soil aeration. These steps may seem routine, but in fact, they set the foundation for the later development of tubers. Good soil management means better oxygen supply, healthier roots, and ultimately higher yields. One of the greatest challenges for potato farmers is protecting the crop against weeds, pests, and diseases. Integrated management is essential, meaning a combination of mechanical, chemical, and biological measures. Weeds are controlled mechanically through tillage and also chemically with selective herbicides. Diseases such as late blight, scab, or rhizoctonia can cause significant losses if left unchecked. That is why alternating fungicides and applying preventive treatments are crucial. Insects are another threat. The Colorado potato beetle is notorious, but wireworms and aphids are also dangerous. as they can spread viruses. The key is to rotate control products, avoid over reliance on one treatment, and time interventions carefully. Protecting the foliage and underground tubers ensures not only higher yields but also better storability and market quality. Irrigation is especially important from the tuberization stage until maturity. During this period, soil moisture should be maintained at 70 to 80% of field capacity. Over the season, potatoes require between 3,500 and 7,000 cubic meters of water per hectare, depending on climate and soil. Harvesting techniques vary by purpose and season. For early potatoes, often destined for fresh consumption, harvesting may be done manually or with light machinery in spring. During summer, specialized machines are used, and for autumn or winter harvests, mechanical harvesters are essential. Temperature at harvest is critical. Tubers should not be harvested at less than 6 or 7 degrees Celsius because cold makes them fragile and more prone to storage problems. A well timed and careful harvest not only secures yield but also preserves tuber quality for months of storage and use. The value of potatoes goes far beyond fresh consumption. Today, they are an important raw material for many industries. In the food sector, potatoes are processed into chips, frozen fries, or dehydrated purees. Starch from potatoes is used not only in cooking but also in the paper, textile, and adhesive industries. Potato starch can also be transformed into sugars, which then serve as raw material for ethanol and bioethanol production. Even the byproducts, peels, and residues are valuable. They can be used as animal feed, compost, or biomass for energy production. Modern innovations have gone further, using potato starch and fibers to produce biodegradable plastics, cosmetics, and even pharmaceuticals. This shows us that the potato is not just a food crop, it is a versatile industrial resource that connects agriculture with sustainable bioeconomy sectors. The sugar beet, scientifically named Beta vulgaris var. Saccharifera, belongs to the Chenopodiaceae family. Over time, plant breeders have developed different cultivated types, each with its own characteristics. We have the so-called E type, which produces high yields but has a lower sugar content, usually under 18%. The Z type has elongated roots and slightly higher sugar content, while the ZZ type has very high sugar content but lower yields and thinner roots. This diversity allows farmers to choose varieties according to their local conditions and industrial needs. The balance between yield and sugar concentration is the key factor in deciding which variety to grow. For example, in areas with fertile soils and good technology, high sugar varieties can be very profitable even if their root yield is lower. Sugar beet roots contain around 75% water and between 16 and 20% sucrose, which is the main economic product. Besides sugars, they also provide proteins, fibers, minerals like calcium, potassium, magnesium, and sodium, as well as vitamins and enzymes. For successful growth, sugar beets require specific environmental conditions. Germination starts when soil temperatures reach 4 to 5 degrees Celsius. The best growth happens at around 18 to 20 degrees, while sugar accumulation is most efficient at slightly lower temperatures, around 16 degrees. Sugar beets prefer deep, fertile loamy or sandy loam soils with a neutral to slightly alkaline pH between 6.5 and 8. Rainfall needs are moderate, usually 500 to 600 millimeters per year. These conditions explain why sugar beets are concentrated in temperate regions, especially in Europe. Their climatic and soil requirements are demanding, but when met, they reward farmers with high yields and high sugar quality. Sugar beet cultivation is intensive and highly technical. Soil preparation begins with deep plowing at 30 to 35 centimeters, which creates the loose structure needed for the roots to penetrate. Fertilization combines organic manure with mineral NPK fertilizers, carefully balanced to avoid excessive nitrogen, which lowers sugar content. Sowing takes place in early spring, usually March to April, once the soil has reached 5 to 7 degrees Celsius. A dense stand of around 90 to 100,000 plants per hectare ensures maximum efficiency. Crop care focuses on weed control, especially in the first 2 months, when young beets grow slowly and are easily outcompeted. Irrigation may be applied in drier areas. Pest control is also critical, with wireworms, beetles, and aphids being the main threats. All these steps together require close monitoring, but when executed correctly, they lead to impressive yields of both roots and sugar. Sugar beet is a cornerstone of the agro-industrial sector with a wide range of uses. Its primary product is, of course, refined white sugar, which is a staple in both households and food industries, but its value goes far beyond that. Sugar beet can also be processed into bioethanol, a renewable energy source increasingly important in reducing dependence on fossil fuels. The pulp and other residues become animal feed, either as silage, dried beet pulp flour, or liquid slurry. In pharmaceuticals and cosmetics, extracts from sugar beet provide antioxidants and natural dyes. Even energy can be generated. Residues and byproducts are excellent raw material for biogas production. In this way, the sugar beet is more than just a sugar crop. It is a versatile industrial resource that supports food, energy, and health industries, making it a key element of sustainable agro-industrial systems. Chicory or Chicorium intybus L belongs to the Asteraceae family. It is a very versatile plant, divided into several cultivated groups. Leaf chicory is used as a salad green. Brussels chicory is grown for its blanched shoots, while root chicory is cultivated for its thick roots, rich in inulin. In Europe, chicory has strong traditions in countries like France, Belgium, Germany, Poland, and Romania. Several commercial varieties are available, such as Viper, Fredonia, Moraine, and Campo, each suited to different purposes and growing conditions. Root chicory is the most important for industrial use. Its ability to accumulate large amounts of inulin makes it valuable for the food and pharmaceutical industries. At the same time, chicory plays a role in diversified agriculture, helping farmers integrate new crops into rotations and increase the resilience of their systems. Chicory roots contain between 15 and 20% inulin, a special type of carbohydrate that functions as a dietary fiber and prebiotic. They also provide sugars, pectin, cellulose, minerals, and phenolic compounds, making them nutritionally and technologically important. Chicory is a long day plant, meaning it grows best under long daylight conditions. Germination begins at 8 to 10 degrees Celsius, while optimal growth occurs at 18 to 22 degrees. Temperatures above 30 degrees, however, can stress the plants. It requires fertile, well aerated soils with a pH between 6.5 and 7.5. Chicory has moderate tolerance to drought thanks to its deep root system, but stable moisture supports higher yields. crop rotation is important, with a recommended break of 4 to 5 years to prevent diseases and maintain soil health. These biological and environmental requirements show that chicory can thrive in temperate climates, especially when farmers manage soil fertility and irrigation carefully. Chicory cultivation begins with choosing well exposed land with deep, fertile soils. Autumn plowing prepares the ground, followed by seedbed preparation in spring. Sowing is done in March or April once soil temperatures reach 6 to 8 degrees Celsius. A dense population of about 180,000 to 200,000 plants per hectare ensures efficient root development. Balanced NPK fertilization is applied to support growth, while crop care involves weed control, pest and disease management, and, if necessary, irrigation. Chicory's relatively modest input requirements make it an attractive crop for farmers seeking diversification. It integrates well into modern crop rotations and provides opportunities for both food and industrial markets. Chicory is remarkable because nearly every part of the plant can be valorized. Byproducts such as leaves and residues are used as animal feed, compost, or biomass for energy. The main product, however, is inulin extracted from the roots. Inulin is widely used in functional foods as a natural prebiotic, improving digestion and supporting gut health. It is also valued in the pharmaceutical and cosmetic industries, where phenolic compounds from chicory provide antioxidants and other beneficial effects. Another traditional use of chicory is as a coffee substitute made by roasting the roots. This caffeine free beverage has gained popularity in recent years as consumers look for healthier alternatives. Altogether, chicory demonstrates how a single crop can support multiple industries, from health and nutrition to renewable energy, making it a key resource in sustainable agriculture and bioeconomy. As we bring together everything we have seen, it is clear that tubers and root crops play a central role in sustainable agriculture and food systems. Potatoes, sugar beets, and chicory thrive in temperate climates and are key contributors to food security, energy production, and industrial applications. Their underground storage organs, rich in starch, sugars, or fibers, allow them to serve multiple purposes, from feeding people to fueling industries. Advanced cultivation techniques such as crop rotation, precise fertilization, irrigation, and integrated pest management ensure both high yields and long term soil health. In this way, tubers and root crops are not just traditional staples, but also modern strategic resources for a resilient agricultural future. When we look at industrial valorization, all three crops show extraordinary versatility. Potatoes go far beyond fresh consumption. Their starch is used in paper, textiles, adhesives, and even bioplastics, while byproducts become animal feed or biomass. Sugar beets are not only a source of refined sugar, but also bioethanol, biogas, animal feed, and natural antioxidants. Chicory provides inulin for functional foods, phenolics for pharmaceuticals and cosmetics, and even roasted roots for coffee substitutes. In every case, the idea is the same: nothing is wasted. These plants embody the principles of the circular economy, where residues are reintegrated as raw materials. Their industrial uses connect agriculture with energy, chemistry, health, and food industries, multiplying their economic and social value. Looking ahead, several trends shape the future of these crops. First, there is a growing demand for plant based and functional foods, which directly boost the use of potato starch, chicory, inulin, and beet derived sweeteners. Second, The global shift towards renewable energy highlights the role of sugar beet and potatoes in bioethanol and biogas production. Third, the bio-based economy is gaining traction, with starches and fibers from these crops serving as raw material for biodegradable plastics, green chemicals, and innovative biomaterials. At the same time, climate change pushes for varieties that are more resilient to drought, heat, and diseases. Breeding and biotechnology are already delivering new cultivars with higher efficiency and nutritional quality. This means that potatoes, sugar beets, and chicory will remain not only important crops of today, but also key resources for the agriculture and industries of tomorrow. To conclude, tubers and root crops are much more than simple agricultural products. They stand at the crossroads of food, industry, and sustainability. By combining traditional farming knowledge with modern technology, we can unlock their full potential and ensure they contribute to food security, renewable energy, and industrial innovation. Thank you for your attention, and I encourage you to continue exploring the fascinating world of these crops because they hold many of the answers to the challenges of our time.